Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about streaming technology. This is episode 150, September 18th, 2019. I am Clyde, and today I am joined by Matthew Ross.
Hey, guys.
Jimmy Trammell.
Good evening.
And in our nation's capital, Michael Aston.
Hello, everybody.
And he's frozen again, so I'm good. He's on hotel Wi-Fi.
No, really,
so he's
there, guys. Really, we didn't just post a picture of him.
Hi.
Although I should have just left it. I do have a great picture that I screen capped a long time ago for that scenario. But, guys, how you doing?
Pretty good. Finally, things are kind of slowing down, and yeah, things are finally kind of turning normal, maybe?
Yeah, I thought, I was like, I'm gonna have some downtime, get some stuff done around the house this week. Man, I've been busier than when I had a job.
Oh, you haven't told everybody this.
Oh, we talked about it a little bit during the movie party because that was immediately after. But yeah, so
sorry to hear about it, man.
It's actually, I walked out of there going, the last few months have just been a nightmare.
So you didn't basically do whatever you could to convince them to fire you. Instead of you walked out on your own.
I will just say that I was able to finagle a severance package.
Oh, that's good. Then you're good.
So yeah,
good.
I'm good until like the end of October. So
okay,
that's why I said this week I was like, I'm gonna take vacation for a few days, but then I get a call on Monday from my buddy who's he's got a guitar store up the road, and they're moving into a bigger space, and I've been helping him with like stuff there. He's like, hey, what does your schedule look like? Because they're crunch. They want to be in there like Saturday. So for the last 2 days, I've been over there doing drywall and painting, and I'm exhausted.
Are they paying you?
Oh yeah.
Oh good. Hey, that's fine. Even if they're just paying you in tacos, it's good.
Yeah. So, yeah, I am exhausted right now. I can barely walk. But yeah, you know what? But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about technology. Is that what it is? What did I say earlier?
Streaming technology.
Chickpeas and garbanzo beans.
Something like that.
Something like that. Well, we can revisit that one in the post. But yeah, Matt, what do we got? What do we got this week?
We've only got a lot of news this week. So we're going to actually go a little faster than normal this week. We're going to start with a story about Hulu. And they have been offering an app for Android users so you could watch your Hulu shows inside your Daydream platform, get the VR experience of watching Hulu. And looks like they just updated the app, and so it no longer supports it. So if you've been a person who's been enjoying watching their stuff on the Daydream or any one of those other platforms that are compatible, sorry, you've just lost something of it. And quite frankly...
But you know who else doesn't support the Daydream? Sorry. The Daydream? Google. Google doesn't even really support it anymore either. So I don't blame Hulu. And I mean, most likely they looked at the usage numbers and said, yeah, there's not enough people actually using it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I've never been a supporter of this device anyway. I mean, it's I'm excited about the technology. I just don't think this implementation is what we're waiting for.
It was a cool product. I was excited to get mine. I've used it twice, and it's back in the box. Mainly because it was too restrictive.
Right. That's the problem.
And, so I mean, it was more restrictive in what content you could use. And if there wasn't an app specifically designed for it, it
Mhm.
wasn't or approved, then you couldn't. So it was like, what am I going to do with this thing? Because
Right.
most of the apps I wanted to use, they didn't make a VR version.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's whatever.
But I mean, it's the first step into this
Yeah.
new technology. You know, eventually it's going to get there, and they're going to have devices that everybody's going to be standing in line for.
Yeah.
Right? But this just isn't it.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I'm sorry. I've done like one or two things of trying to watch something through my daydream, like a movie, and I'd rather just watch it on a TV. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
See, I
It's
like-
not as good.
I like the big screen experience.
Yeah.
The effect. Like the Netflix VR app. I didn't like that it puts you in a room like you're in this
They could
weird,
change
like
that.
creepy cabin.
With way too many windows.
So I would have preferred nothing, just a bigger screen, rather than watching a 50-inch TV,
Right.
But I mean and we've talked about it over the last couple of years that this is exactly what I want, especially for flying. I want to be able to just put on my headset and have a big screen and watch stuff, because I don't want to watch stuff on a little tiny device. But again, Hulu, I would have never watched Hulu on there because I don't think Hulu lets you download your content. So if you're offline, like on a plane or something, it was pointless anyway. So, yeah.
I would argue the plane would be the one place where it makes a lot of sense for me to want that experience, because I want to disappear into some other place when I'm on a plane.
Exactly.
I agree. That makes sense. Give everybody VR goggles.
And it could be good, like for if your significant other is trying to sleep and you still want to watch something, something like that's good. You don't want to turn on the TV in the bedroom and bother them. But yeah,
I think you just sold me on the idea of VR headsets for sale on planes, kind of like how headphones are for sale.
well, there's
on
that
planes.
VR bus that goes
I
to
know.
Vegas.
But I don't know about the bus situation, but I think you've just sold me on
Same thing.
headsets.
Yeah.
I think it makes a lot of sense, and I think I would be happy to spend $50 for a headset or something like
Now,
that. When I sit down.
This is a total side jag, but I had the thought the other day, what if the plane gave you a headset like that, but they had like a 360 camera outside the plane, so you could put on the headset and look around outside the plane as you're flying. That would be cool. Because I know looking through that little tiny window, trying to see what you can see, just be able to look around and be like, and see the outside of the plane and go, is that panel supposed to be loose? There's something on the wing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right.
The Twilight Zone.
Oh no! Please don't. No, not.
All
All right. We've got a story here about Sony. They've got their new Crystal Cinema display. This display is a modular display. I think they had a name for what they used to have.
The old one was the Cletus.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Bad taste.
I mean, the old one was the Cletus, but that was an OLED modular display. This is an LED.
But they'll have little modules that allows you to stick together these little 16 by 18 inch modules that are 300 by 300 resolution, which actually sounds pretty horrible because that's not very much.
Well, yeah, if you get one. Oh, Skype just
16K with this at a gigantic size, which I believe was 63 feet by 18 feet in order to make that size.
You might want to reiterate that because I had a complete freeze from all of you.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
So
I'm fine. It was just you. But yeah, those are huge, gigantic sizes. 63 by 18 feet. Even at 4K, you're at 16 feet wide. So this gets to a point where the actual resolution is potentially problematic, right? because we say that there's certain sizes where you need to have a certain resolution. 16 feet, so like a 16 by 8 foot display. I'm thinking 4K might not be enough.
That's why this is 16K, right?
Yeah,
It's
but then
right.
you step up to 63 feet. So you're talking 63 by about 30. Well, they're saying a 63 by 18 foot display. So, I mean, we're talking the entire size of your house, like the side of a 2-story house.
Right. So, but that's not the biggest problem here for me. If the biggest problem is that if each one of these little tiles that you buy that can put together are currently, well, not like hundreds of dollars, not like maybe $1,000, but $10,000 a pop, which is ridiculous, especially at that low resolution.
Yes.
That means if you were to get yourself up to that 16K resolution, yeah, that'd be $5.8 million. It's ridiculous. I can't wait to hear about the one guy who buys it and Sony they saying, thank you for saving our company.
Well, I mean, so there's a couple of things to consider, right? Like, this is not intended for individuals. This is intended for cinemas and theaters. They have said they will sell it to individuals as well, but this is a commercial product. I don't understand. I still don't understand how the value comparison works out. I mean, you can get displays of that size, not that resolution, but that size for less money. So is there really a value for a theater to spend $5.8 million to get a, whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good screen for Elon Musk.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry, Sling TV. Quick little note here is, the wonderful little inexpensive streaming solution. I think one of the very first streaming solutions available to cord cutters out there. Has really inexpensive plans, the blue plan and the orange plan. And if you wanted to watch it on your Mac, you couldn't use it on Safari up until now. They've just released a version that now supports Safari, version 11.1, which has been released for about a year. And so, which means if you are on a recent Mac and you want to watch some Sling TV, available to you now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm surprised that it hadn't worked up to this point.
Me too. But this is one of those stories where, like, really, what took you guys so long? Kind of stories.
This story is funny when you compare it to an upcoming story about YouTube TV, which we should probably jump to right now.
Oh, you want to jump to YouTube TV? Let me see if I can find that one. There it is, a couple down. YouTube TV is shutting down its TV-friendly web interface. This one I didn't really read. So basically, if you have been using YouTube TV on, I think it's on your PC, but you're opening up the big, the lean back experience, the 10-foot experience, the kind which is supposed to be easily controlled with a remote control controller. That is through the TV being shut down. So you start using your Roku, your Fire TV.
Yeah. So I think it's funny that Sling's like, hey, we're here. We finally work, and YouTube's like, yeah, we're done with that.
Well, I mean, sort of, right? Like, this is very specific to, they're not getting rid of your Chrome YouTube TV.
No, it's browser. Yeah.
It's for watching on the TV. This frustrates me. Why do companies feel like they should get rid of something that costs so little to maintain, and it's so useful, unfortunately, by a niche audience? I used to have home theater PCs, and I loved it until Media Center PC went away by Microsoft, and it just became a headache to try to keep everything functioning without that. So I quit doing it, but I was very, very unhappy that I had to.
Well, and there are some conspiracy theories going around, but I ascribe to the just like the Hulu thing. It's probably, when they look at the numbers of people that are actually using or accessing it by their browser, the numbers are low enough that they probably can't justify spending the man hours to update the site.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's other theories like whether or not they want to control the ad revenue, in
Oh,
other platforms and stuff like that.
now you're
Um,
getting really conspiracy theories.
which,
So I'll
like
put
I
on
said,
my.
and I don't know, I ascribe to the it probably just wasn't worth their time. Hey, sweet. I want to get one of those, and I'll just wear it all the time.
Okay,
It'll just be my hat. Um,
doesn't
but
fit
yeah,
very well on
I
the
don't know.
headphones.
But like I was saying, I thought it was funny that Sling finally made it into the Safari browser, and that's when YouTube said, we're out of browsers, or YouTube TV. So YouTube is still accessible from the browser. So
Yes, it is. All right. Yep. And I don't know. It seems there must be an amount of money that they've did a calculation on and how much it is to keep that one up to date, and basically went, is it worth it? Nah, I guess not. So I don't know. We'll see. Well, we're gonna go back, and I'm gonna keep this hat on. Not for this first part of the story. First part of the story is kind of, we've been expecting this. We kind of thought it was going to happen last week, and it's official now.
Ooh.
MoviePass is shutting down. Actually, it now has shut down by this time. MoviePass is no more. As of September 14th, the company has stopped doing business. And if you ask me, I'm guessing they've actually stopped doing business a long time before because nobody could watch movies anyways.
I was able to use it a couple days ago.
Oh, okay.
But I couldn't find any movies that I wanted to watch, so I didn't.
Oh.
But I opened it up. I opened up the app today, and I got a thing saying,
Oh. We've turned it off.
it says, over the past several months, MoviePass worked hard to relaunch its groundbreaking subscription service and recapitalize the company. While we were able to relaunch the service for some of our subscribers with an improved technology platform, it was the same platform, and I was able to use it sometimes. Our efforts to recapitalize the company have not been successful to date. As a result, it pains me to inform you that effective at 8 a.m. Eastern on September 14th, we must interrupt service for all current MoviePass subscribers. MoviePass will be providing subscribers with appropriate refunds for their period of service already paid for. Subscribers will not need to request a refund or contact MoviePass customer service to receive a refund. Subscribers will not be charged during the service interruption. At this point, we are unable to predict if or when the MoviePass service will continue. We still deeply believe in the need for MoviePass service in the marketplace. And there's something below, down at the bottom, but you can't scroll it up to read it. So, I don't know. It says something to maintain affordable access to theaters, whatever. So, yeah. I'm just curious if now that they shut down MoviePass, will the Helios Matheson stock go up as they're a viable company again?
I have no idea.
Because if so, I'm crossing my fingers because, like I said, I own like 3,000 shares of Helios Matheson, and if it just goes up to $1, I've got a payday.
Good for you. Well, but here's the funny thing: is that shortly after it was officially brought down, the guy who brought it, the former the Ted Farnsworth, he's ready to try to bring it back somehow. He's been talking to reporters about the fact that he wants to bring MoviePass back to life. Yes, it was dead. Yes, they put the nails in the coffin. They buried it. They sanctified the ground. They made sure nothing else was going to happen. That thing was the zombie had finally been put to rest, and this guy was looking to resurrect it again.
Hey, MB, welcome back, and thanks. Yeah, so I don't know, and that's what they said right there. And the thing is, they're still committed to competition in the marketplace. That they believe that people should have affordable access and alternatives, which I agree with. If they can bring it back, awesome. I haven't been going to movies because I didn't have my movie pass.
Okay.
And it's good for everybody, so as long as they can do it. And on a side note, need to go back to that last story
Mhm.
and reiterate. Apparently, and Webbit pointed it out. It's YouTube, not YouTube TV,
Oh.
that
Oh.
has removed the lean back interface, which changes that completely. Because
does.
I was
You're
thinking
right.
of YouTube
Forgive us.
TV.
Makes it even worse.
Yeah. So that means you can't. So if you use YouTube on a media PC in your browser, it won't work with a remote anymore. You'll still be able to mouse around and use it like normal,
Yeah.
but you won't be able to use a remote. So that sucks.
Yeah. All right. Well, next story. I don't need to wear this hat for anymore because there's no more conspiracies.
Keep it nearby.
Hey, AT&T sued for allegedly inflating. Oh crap! Good the hat. Okay. So apparently AT&T has been lying about their numbers about AT&T TV Now, previously known as DirecTV Now, not to be confused with AT&T TV or AT&T Now, because those are things. And but they have been sued by some states because they basically were telling the various people that they've been making having much higher subscription rates than they actually have had. So, did we lose the stream?
No. Yeah.
Yeah. This is weird to me. Like, I understand that it's not cool to lie about things, but I don't understand what the monetary consequences of them misrepresenting their subscription numbers. So how is it that they are?
You might want to hold it, Mike. I think
Yeah,
we're
hold
off
on.
the air now.
The stream's back, but
And so the hat's on because I think AT&T is killing our show because
I think it's a Twitch issue because
oh
the chat room went away too. Did you guys get kicked out of the chat room?
I'm not on Twitch.
I am Chatty is still up for me, but that doesn't.
I'm in on Chatty.
Just bringing up random Twitch stream, just to see if it's working.
Yeah.
Borderlands 3.
I mean, the stream's up. I can see it on my phone. So,
Okay.
yeah, I guess we'll just have to work through it. No, I have bandwidth. That's the problem. I've got 20 up and 800 down. So, it's Mediacom. It's been nothing but problems since I moved here. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what they're suing for, why, but it seems kind of silly. Is it fraud? I guess, but really, what are they defrauding people for? Just so they don't look like such losers?
So if my guess is that if they can report big numbers, then they still get more investments, and if they can report big numbers, then people can say, "Hey, wait, this looks successful. I'll go ahead and get myself an account too, because obviously everybody else is doing it, and so there are real legal reasons why you shouldn't do it." Yeah, I don't know.
So I think there's two questions. It seems kind of silly because if you're buying your service just because a lot of other people did, then you need to rethink your life choices. But otherwise, also, are we sure that this is fraud, or are they just so confused about who's joining what and doing what that they can't calculate the numbers correctly because they don't even know what their own organizational structure is?
This was before that. This was before that. This was for DirecTV Now. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
because this was like last month. Then everybody I don't even know what this person's doing anymore.
Yeah, no. This was back when I was getting, let's say, when they launched DirecTV Now, anybody that was a current subscriber to an unlimited plan got the sweetheart deal at $5, which is what I got. And then, so they were able to say, oh, on day one, we got 150,000 subscribers, but they're not full price. So if they take that to the investors and say, hey, we've got 150,000 subscribers on day one, and they don't mention that, but they're only paying $5, the subscribers or the investors are going, oh, 150,000 at $30 a head? Awesome.
Well, and I think, sorry, I was on the plane, so I didn't get to read all of these stories as well as I'd like to.
No worries.
Going through this story, it also becomes readily apparent that there was fraud not just in the way they announced it, but potential fraud, and I shouldn't say there was
people that
charging people for things they specifically said they didn't want, creating fake accounts, telling them they were being billed for different things, but billing them for having service and things like that, in order for them to actually have officially subscribed people, even though they shouldn't be subscribed. AT&T was subscribing them, allegedly subscribing them to something that they had specifically said they didn't want. So that makes a lot more sense as to why this would be a big deal, that lots of states would be getting involved in doing large lawsuits, as opposed to something like an SEC suit where the SEC believes that they're misrepresenting financially relevant data, right? Like that's what I would have expected if it was from an investor perspective. But in this case, they allegedly are involved in extensive fraud, and this is a typical thing. Like we see this kind of thing happen all the time. There's the desire for sales, and there's the willingness by salespeople to pad their numbers in various ways, and they go ahead and go along with using fake email accounts and stuff like that to bolster their numbers.
Yeah.
M Beam says 150,000 subs, 20,000 employees mandated to sub to keep their jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
right.
Sub your pets or take a pay cut. That's
all right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and move on to an actual news story for real. Hey, Philips Hue bulbs are pretty cool because you can dynamically set lighting for any mood you want, especially the color ones, because you can really set the kind of mood you want. But if you now have a new option available to you if you purchase what's called the what do they call it here? The HDMI sync box. So the Philips Hue Play HDMI sync box. Boy, love that when they have names sound. It's great. When you purchase one of those, you can connect that through your HDMI cable for whatever is feeding your TV, and it will dynamically provide lighting in your room based on what's being showed on the TV. We've seen some hacks like this before, where with the edge of the TV, behind the TV, that ambient lighting is working. But this will work with any hues light you like, so you can place them anywhere in the room for you to get that. And Beam, I will not put the hat back on until we have another conspiracy. I'm sorry.
So this is $230.
Yeah.
Is having the color in the room synced to what's going on with the HDMI worth $230?
If I was already invested thousands of dollars, yes. Okay. And because Hue lights are not the cheapest, they are kind of a premium.
That's why I don't have any.
Exactly.
They're $50 a bowl, or at least they used to be. I mean, they're expensive.
Plus, you need the hub to control them.
Yeah. So here's the thing: like they have been doing this for a really long time. They released a system like this for computers about 10 or 15 years ago, maybe even 20. I don't even know, but a very long time ago, with like LED strips you could put on the back of your computer monitor that then plugged into a USB port, and it would sync to what it perceived to be on the screen. It was really cool, but also totally pointless, really. I mean, the claim is that it enhances the visuals of the screen, but
See, it's the immersion.
it's a lot of
It's
money.
the immersion. If you are watching something like you're watching Finding Nemo, it's under the water. It's a lot of blue and a little green. And if it kind of fills the space around your TV with a blue and green waving, lights, like it shows in the picture of the article here, that would be cool. I would be totally into that. It makes it feel like your room is underwater a little bit. It's okay for making that immersion part of what's going on. So if you're in a fiery scene and your room is kind of red, that is an awesome idea. I would be totally sold on it if it wasn't so expensive.
But here's the problem: like the 200, honestly, $230 isn't a problem. Like, I think that's a totally reasonable price for something that does this kind of functionality.
Sure.
It's just it's a market, right? Like, this is marketed for people that are like buying the $2,000 or $3,000 OLED TV, not the guy that's buying the $400 TLC, right? I would consider getting this if I believed in it, but this is the problem. It shouldn't be based off of the prevalent tones that are fed off of the HDMI. This should be something that is programmed by the director. And it would be something that would be taken into consideration as part of the ambiance, and they would design that into their thing. So yes, you're right. The scene you pitched of watching Finding Nemo with the blue around you and maybe kind of waving green in and out of blue and green and various shades that match the scene, that makes sense. But then, like, alternatively, you're talking like watching soccer and there's a lot of green on the field, so the room looks green. That's silly. It's something where it really needs to be programmed in, and it needs to be art directed like the rest of the movie or the show. Then it could really super enhance in the movie and the feel and the ambiance. I totally agree. But just taking the prevalent tone on the screen, when you watch us, your room suddenly becomes blue because the prevalent tone on the screen is blue. Like, that's totally irrelevant to watching the VOD Squad.
So we have.
But is it?
Well, let me.
We make you blue.
So what would be the ambiance of a UFC cage fight?
Red. Just like Valentine's Day.
No, it would start kind of a nice, kind of a bright white, but as the fight got on, it would get redder and redder and red.
Okay.
Obviously.
No. Just as Mike was describing all that, that's all I could think of, right?
That's exactly right. Like, the prevalent tone on the screen probably wouldn't be red or yellow or something, but that might be the appropriate color there. Now, the truth is that also, to a large extent, you really most of the time don't want extra light in the room. I know that when I'm watching movies and stuff like that, I turn all the lights off and watch it in pretty much complete darkness. So adding that just decreases the contrast and floods things in. Now, that's where it goes back to what I was talking about before, where they had like a system where, based on the colors on the screen, they would show a backlight on the TV that would soften that and make your eyes, that would enrich the light. But yeah, I mean, it's really, I think it's silly unless you art direct it. It's got to be made by the directors.
So, I mean, when I read this article, the first thing I thought was, depending on the HDMI input that you're using, you switch to the PlayStation 4, all the lights turn green. You switch to your Xbox 360, all the lights you turn blue. And then you switch to the Xbox and everything turns green. If the color in the room was tied to the device. Okay, I get that. That's the kind of kludgy thing that people like to do.
So we have seen this in the past. I think there has been a television with it built in, but also just with light strips, somebody has made this in the past. And what they do is they take whatever color is at the edge of the screen. So at the top edge of a screen, if it's if it's your UFC fight, for example, the top would be black, so it would be no light there, and the bottom would be whatever the color of the ring is. So it's white. It would be a white underneath the bottom. Also, you like it without being too much brightness. This box right here has a dial specifically designed to affect how intense the video visual is. So you can make it so as dim as you like, or you can make it so it's flashy and moves quickly. So it's up to you. I think it's cool. I think they should totally play with this. I also agree that I think if they could art direct this and make this a standard that works everywhere, that would be freaking awesome. I would love it if I was watching a movie and I didn't know that I would hate this. Never mind. I would hate this if I was watching a horror movie and the thing coming up behind me and like everything behind me was turning red or something, and like I would hate that. I would hate that.
See,
so
that's where you
that'd
could
be cool.
and that's what I'm saying. Like art direction, that could be freaking sweet. Or like a little ambiance, and then all of a sudden it starts getting darker in the back corner, and like they could actually turn the light up in the front and darken it in the back just to amplify the difference between the light. You could do so many cool things with this, but again, it's got to be something that's a decision by the director.
Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers. It's dark as before the dawn. Everything's dark, and then look to the east. Suddenly there's light. That'd be cool. I'm all sold for that idea. Yep. Cool.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Moving on. NBC. I've got a couple stories here they're little short ones. We're gonna start with NBC Universal. They're gonna making their own streaming service, and it's gonna have The Office. It's gonna have Parks and Recreation. Good shows. People will want to watch this, and it's gonna be called Peacock.
That makes sense.
Makes sense.
I mean, NBC is the Peacock station.
I get it.
Peacock in living color. That's where the Peacock.
It's not like CBS doing the all-seeing eye. 'Cause that's just creepy. Because that's what their logo is. But I mean, everybody knows that NBC is a peacock.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm sorry. I guess I'm around middle schoolers too much right now. All right.
Oh,
right.
oh, now I can't not.
Oh, no.
feel it that way.
I ruined it for you. Excellent.
Well,
right.
that is what they're for.
All right. Amazon is getting a new streaming service. This streaming service is offering HD lossless streaming of their music, and unlike their previous service, which was a reasonable $8 a month or something like that, this one is starting for $12.99. Hey, do you want lossless streaming?
I think I might do this. I have been wanting to get into hi-fi audio for quite a while, but have not been willing to, buy the audio all separately so that I could get hi-fi and then buy all of the equipment to listen to it well enough. If I can stream it, and now that we all have the bandwidth to do it, sounds great to me. I'm on board.
Yeah, I mean, if you're someone like Mike who pretty much lives in the Amazon ecosystem, yeah, this could be a great thing. And
Absolutely.
tied to, and then you're also an audiophile, you want that lossless audio. Most people don't care. Most people don't hear the difference.
Yep, I'm one of those.
I get good, and I get just I get the quality I need from Spotify, and it's free. So I probably won't sign up for this. I mean, but I also one of those people that I have most of the audio that I want on different formats that I can listen to. So, but yeah, I mean, if you check those two boxes, and this could be a good deal.
Did you know if you were born and have been listening to, born after and have been listening to nothing but MP3s, you actually given the choice between listening to the MP3 version of the song and listening to a lossless version of the song, actually prefer the MP3 version?
It's what you know.
Exactly. So it's all relative. All right, moving on to the next story is Google it has this awesome feature that's called Data Saver. It's basically them pre-compressing the data as it's being sent to your TV. I don't know why, but or to your device, but I don't know why, but they're bringing it to Android TVs.
Well, this is actually a good thing for people to have data caps.
It's
Because
true.
I know my parents on the Roku, they bump into the data cap all the time. So if they're running an Android TV, and they probably would notice any additional compression or anything like that. If this could help somebody lower their data consumption, I say good on them. This is one of those things that you don't necessarily have to use, but it's cool that it exists.
As long as it's an option to turn it off.
Well,
please.
what is the even if you can't turn it off, you still have the option not to use Android TV.
That's true.
It's true.
It's not like they're baking it into an app that's on all of the platforms.
Right.
So yeah, good on
Yep.
them.
Yep.
All right, Vizio is also updating their TVs. They have the Alexa app built into it, and now they're giving that app the ability to search for movies and TVs within their movies and TV shows within their TVs.
Wait, you can search for other TVs
Hey.
in your household?
Yo, Alexia, can you please show me other televisions? Yeah, that's not what I meant. Sure, here's a great model by Sharp. No, so they've updated their SmartCast TVs, and they had their Alexia experience put into it, and so they have their own skill now, which allows you to ask for specific shows, and it will be able to launch the apps directly from things like Prime Video or Hulu for you. So it's kind of cool.
Okay, rock on.
All right, this story, LG is a major display maker, and they have been working on making displays for televisions and phones, and unfortunately they are now finding themselves being in a major problem with competition from Chinese rivals, where they're struggling to keep up. I'm guessing they've actually found out that most people are happy to pay for the cheaper things that's good enough versus the really high-end stuff.
I mean, I have the same OLED screen that Jimmy has hanging on in his living room on my phone.
Right.
And it's great. It looks good, but I'm not willing to spend that kind of money to have it in my living room. That TCL, that Hisense 4K, good enough. And that's the problem that they're facing is you've got this influx of good, relatively cheap TVs from China that people, not everybody's got a bucket of money they can draw from. So TCL, that 65-inch TCL that 4K that I want, I just saw it for $400.
Yeah,
that's a no-brainer.
That's for most people.
LG,
Yes,
LG's not in a position where they can really compete with that, especially when their market, they want you to get that super expensive OLED, 65-inch OLED for your living room. That's going to cost you $1,600, right? I could get 4 of those 65-inch TCLs, tape them together, and have an even bigger screen for the same price.
I gotta say, as somebody that owns a TCL 4K TV and an LG 4K TV, it makes me a little sad every time I watch a show in my office with my TCL TV. It is a good TV, and for like watching YouTube videos and podcasts and stuff, it's great. But when I sit down to watch movies, like when I watched Game of Thrones, I did that mostly in my office. Watching the Carnival Row, which I've been watching. I watched most of it. I haven't finished it yet. Because especially they fail to reproduce high quality blacks and gradations in the dark blacks and grays. It really is unfortunate. And so I really do think there's a true value in these higher end TVs. However, that said, a lot of what people watch, it doesn't matter. If you watch a lot of news, if you watch a lot of videos and stuff, it doesn't matter. And obviously, people aren't willing to the extra, the 2 or 3 times as much money to get that video quality for the 1% or the 10% of the time that they are actually watching something where it does matter.
Yeah.
I did it in my living room, and I didn't do it for my office. I kind of wish I could have done both, but I couldn't afford to do both. So I have to go downstairs and watch it in the living room.
But let me ask.
People are buying $1,000 phone nowadays, and so they only got $300 left to spend on their television.
There's that. And let me ask you, Mike, if you could only have one TV and you had that TCL, still good enough, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. People don't need the best. They want bang for the buck as long as it's good enough. I mean, that's why 720 small TVs stuck around as long as they did, is because good enough. I would love that big shiny Sony 16K screen, but it's just not in the cards.
Yeah, and I just say, the concern is, the hope is that LG still manages to weather through this, manages to continue to produce their high quality, higher end things like the OLEDs, because they are worth it if you can afford it. They are distinctly better, and again, that is dependent upon your viewing. Like
the fidelity is, I own one, right? But the fidelity is better. But to Clyde's point, $400, man, you can get one that's good enough, right?
Right.
So.
And then also, it's not just the screens that is causing their problem. It's the general decline in cell phone sales altogether. Because go back a couple of years, people would upgrade their phone every year.
Mm-hmm.
Now the phones have gotten good enough that even every 2 years isn't necessary.
No.
And so, because a huge chunk of LG's portfolio is smartphones. And even Apple's been feeling that in the decline of sales. It's just the market that was booming a few years back is starting to, it's a slump.
To Jimmy's point, though, like, they've kind of shot themselves in the foot with this, right? Like, they've produced such powerful phones that, as you said, they don't have to replace them. But also, they cost a ton of money. $1,000. No. Now the new Samsung Galaxy is $1,300.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't even have that $300 left to go buy the TV. By making them progressively more expensive, they're forcing people to have to prolong the life of the phone. And as long as the batteries, which no longer are replaceable, and that's really the only way that they're keeping business going, is not allowing you to replace the batteries.
Right.
You really are only going to replace the phone when the batteries start to die, and because they're powerful enough to last for a very long time.
I find that my phones generally last about 2 years, and after 2 years, they start feeling worn out. Batteries are low. Something starts not working perfectly on it. So 2 years makes sense for me. But yeah, it's expensive, and obviously the scales have skipped to turn an interesting way. So go ahead.
Your replacement cost is just continuing to go higher, though, and at some point, you won't want to do it every 2 years because it's going to be $3,600 for a new phone.
No, because my maker has decided to make a less expensive version of the phone that I might be going to next time. Hey, guess what? If you've been one of those people who really liked that Facebook portal and you wish there were new models available to you, I'm very happy to tell you and the other guy that there are new models available for you. There is the new Portal and the Portal Mini are standalone systems. They are, the little guys that are not nearly as big as the one they showed before. More like picture frames, And they are 179 and 129 respectively. But the other thing that actually kind of is interesting, but at the same time it's Facebook Portal, so not, is the Portal TV. Portal TV, $149, is basically a giant webcam you stick on top of your TV to convert it into a Portal device. Remember, Portal is the device that allows you to that gives a 180-degree camera to the device that allows it to see everything that's happening in that room, follows you, tracks your movement, allows you to move all around the room, and feeds that data all to Facebook.
Just what you want Facebook to do.
Yeah, for people that are not concerned about the privacy of having Amazon and all of the other people listening to you all the time, let's sign up for Facebook to be watching you all the time.
There is a slidable cover. You could slide over the camera. Nobody's going to do that. Except for the people who slide it over
How
all the
many
time.
people are going to accidentally live stream themselves to Facebook getting frisky on the couch?
At least
More than you think. More
If
than
it
you
hasn't
think.
already happened.
Sure.
Okay. The whole reason I don't own an Oculus Go, as we talked about earlier, I want the standalone, not tethered to a computer, ability to watch VR stuff on a plane. Oculus Go was perfect. It was exactly what I wanted till I found out it required a Facebook login. I don't even want that. And that's just watching content. There is no way in hell I am putting a Facebook product in my house that also watches and listens.
So would you do it if it included the portal gun?
No.
Okay, just asking.
A functioning portal gun? Absolutely. Yeah. I would just keep that cover permanently glued. I just want the portal gun so that I can cut down on my
Just don't
commute.
power it on, but you keep the portal gun. Obviously, don't plug it in. You could. I don't care. Use the portal gun to shoot it to the moon. Whatever.
Absolutely, give me an actual portal gun. Now, the thing that would make me sad is if they licensed an actual Portal the game tie-in, because then I would be super conflicted. Because
so. If Facebook comes out with a version of their AI that works with their Portal device, and they license GLaDOS for the voice and the snark, that could actually possibly sway me. It is possible.
But there was in the Vive demo, there was a Portal game that was awesome. And it was so much fun. Which would be available on the Oculus platform because they use the same basic framework. But yeah, I don't know. I just can't get past the whole Facebook thing.
Very cool. All right, last story of the night is Hulu. Hulu does this cool tradition where they have a hackathon, and in this hackathon this year, they figured out a whole bunch of cool things you can do with it. One of the things is an eye tracking solution, which was they could actually see what you're looking at and able to use that as part of their interface, which that could be interesting. Make it easier for you to select items.
Well, I mean, this is good for people with disabilities.
Yeah.
Where you may not be able to operate a remote, or it may not, like my dad's getting older and fumbling around with the remote is getting kind of, especially like Roku remotes are kind of small.
Right. Even me, if all I did was, hey, this, I go to the next page for the next show and I start looking at the show more button, and if it just moves the cursor to that for me, if I have it enabled, I have the feature enabled, I'm looking at show more, it realizes I'm there, it just moves the cursor to there, and I just have to click select on my remote, so I don't have to thumb through down to the thing I want and get to it. Yeah. Eyes closed equals pause. I like it.
So I want to know, so the pictures that they got for this article, why did they feature a picture of the monitor sitting on two Asus router boxes?
Well, because this show was obviously supported by Acer router boxes.
It's Asus.
It was Asus, yes, but it was supported by two Acer router boxes. Obviously.
The one out of this hackathon that stood out to me kind of ties into the Hue lighting story. Is the Hulu immersion that syncs your Hulu video content with IoT devices like smart bulbs and stuff. This is the one that gets me, the smart thermostats. So I'm imagining watching the what was the movie, Day After Tomorrow or something like that, where the world ends from
from being frozen.
Ice Age.
Freezing. Yeah. So I'm sitting here in my house, and all of a sudden the deep freeze comes on, and the thermostat turns down to 50 degrees, and I'm freezing to death. And then global warming, so it gets hot, and so now it turns it up to like 90 degrees, and my house is like sweltering, and I'm sweating. Oh, this is not a good idea.
I don't want this. No, I don't want that feature. That's horrible. Turn that off.
Yeah, I will say with the Hulu immersion, the Project Campfire, which allows you to allows multiple Hulu viewers to watch content together, and enables video
wonder where they got
text
that from.
chat, which is cool. That's essentially what we do for Movie Party. It's a lot of fun. I recommend it to anybody. And the fact, the caveat-ness is everybody's got to be a Hulu subscriber. Yeah, but I'm glad that it's an option. Any ways for people that are geographically separated to watch content together and communicate without it being too convoluted is a good thing.
I agree. And with that is the end of the stories for this week, guys. Thank you for. We had a lot of stories, and there were plenty we skipped too because they were like, I got to Q. Haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, we made through them in a reasonable amount of time, actually.
But we still have more to go through.
But what we need to do right now is thank all of the patrons that. You're with us every month, and you support us, even when my ISP is being a royal pain in the backside. And, thank you for the bits, Mbeam. Thanks to everybody that supports us month to month. If you're not currently a supporter and you find some value in what we do each week, we're not asking for anything really, but if you want, even as low as $1, $1 set limit to once a month, that's perfectly fine. We will be eternally grateful. But that's patreon.com/thebod squad. And let's keep this thing moving. There is no more movie draft minute updates since we are in the waning hours of the summer draft, but we should go look and see how did it shake out.
Oh, look at that. You're getting close.
I am so close to 1.5.
I know.
We got just over a week left. Yeah. We got about 2 weeks left.
Oh, okay.
So can I make the 80-some million I need from it in the next 2 weeks?
So looking at the race for second, the Lion King, which is Ritual Misery's movie, last week made 4.3 million, and this week made 3.6 million. So expect them to make at least another cut. I don't think they're going to have enough in the tank, unfortunately.
Nope.
I don't think they're quite going to make it. It was close. And Ritual Misery was probably going to win this.
But this is a momentous season because this is the first time that not only someone got this close to 1.5 billion, but we have not 2, but 3 teams over $1 billion.
Wow.
Yeah, rub it in, okay?
We did such a good job of picking up the trash that people couldn't help but get millions of dollars.
Well, also game night only had like
Between
three.
us and game night, we all but guaranteed
See,
multiple
game night
million.
didn't pick up the trash though. They couldn't even pick up the trash.
I know.
Um,
They picked up one thing and said, "Ow, my
I-
leg!" and had to stop.
I kept
there.
picking up the trash to keep it out of their hands. So sorry, Will, but I had to. Yeah,
October
was-
4th is the date.
Yes,
No.
related, we have a new winter draft coming, and we have some information about it coming, and you guys should probably know. It looks like that we've decided to have 2 divisions, and Division 1, or whatever, the first division is going to be called the Manticore Division, and the other one's going to be the Etten Division.
What?
And so, that's right, they're going to be, those are the 2 names of the divisions.
What?
Which one are we?
We don't know yet. They've not decided what they are, but no, these are just
So
fan-
we're one of the teams is or one of the divisions is named after the sea cow,
Have you seen a manticore?
manatee.
You're amazing.
No, it's not a manatee. A manticore. That is a mythical beast. Look it
Okay.
up. And an etten, which is
Is a
another kind of-
manticore? Is that like part man, part unicorn?
I don't think so.
I think all
Here.
men are unicorns, but that's
Manticore
another
is-
story.
Part lion and
Part bat.
and bat and
The
yeah.
mythical beast typically is depicted as having a body of a lion, the face of a man, and the sting of a scorpion,
Oh, I was okay.
and wings of a
So
bat.
it's like some sort of chimera.
Yeah.
similar.
And an etten is
Yeah, I don't know about that.
giant two-headed troll / giant.
Okay. Well,
So
yeah,
the-
that's coming up
the-
soon.
We're going to have 2 drafts, one on, what is the dates? One on October 4th, which is a Friday, and one on the Saturday before, which I believe is September 28th. And so more details will be coming. Depending on which league you're in, you're going to be having to show up and vote for your movies, and then the 2 leagues will make it out.
Yeah, no, one of those definitely should be Man Bear Pig.
And they're big. All right.
All right. We should let's head into some rants and some raves. All right. So, rants, raves, what do you guys got?
So I've been very busy with work as usual, but when I come home after we've got everything done, we have basically found ourselves completely in no mood to do anything but sit down on the couch and just watch just whatever, we flip through the channels and see what was on. We really couldn't find anything good to watch. So we put on Ocean's 11 and then Ocean's 12. And we're about to start Ocean's 13. So those are good movies. Really enjoyed them.
It's not bad.
Have you watched the original Ocean's 11 though?
I have not.
You should probably do that.
Okay.
Because that was the final Rat Pack movie.
Ah. Okay.
And it was a terrible movie. And I heard after I had seen it many years later, when the new Ocean's 11 came out, someone was talking about, yeah, the original one was so bad because basically Dean Martin and everybody were busy performing and fooling around and drinking and partying all night, that then they'd show up to shoot and just be like not into it and totally out of it. They just knocked out the movie because they had to. But still, definitely worth watching if you're gonna, put the new one in context. And yeah, the original remake was decent, and I fell off when they tried to make a sequel of a movie that never had a sequel or needed a sequel. So,
Okay.
all right.
Cool. So I haven't been watching much TV either. Busy at work. However, I started watching Bones,
I'm sorry.
and I'm a few episodes in, and
Not
I'm enjoying
it's
it. Okay.
it's not a bad show. It's just there's a lot of it. So
Yeah. Well, that's part of why I was happy with it, because I don't have to think about what I'm going to watch for the next 6 months.
all right.
And for me, I've been watching the current season of Suits, season 9, I believe it is. It's still a good show, but not quite as good as what it used to be. Right? Of course, they had they changed some of the characters around in there, and all. We all know why. But still a good show, but just not as good as what it used to be. And I saw a trailer on Hulu. They've been showing this trailer of a new TV show called Treadstone, right? This is a spinoff from the Jason Bourne movies, right? This is supposed to be like pre-Jason Bourne, is what it is.
Before Jason was born.
Yep.
Something like that, yes. But anyway, it looks interesting. I'm a sucker for the spy movies or secret agent kind of stuff, right? So this seems to be like what it's going to be. So yeah.
So let me ask you.
That looks appealing.
Let me ask you, since you're a fan of that genre, have you watched The Spy with Sacha Baron Cohen on Netflix? I think it's on
I have
Netflix.
not.
It's a true-ish retelling about a Israeli spy back in, I think, the late 70s. I started watching it. It was a little bit too serious for my taste, and I fell asleep. But if you like that, you might want to check it out.
All right.
Because, it's based on supposed real events, but, a real spy, how much of it is real? But, yeah, it was interesting from
I'll give it a shot.
what I saw. I saw there's a new show that dropped on Netflix, and I'm not sure why, but I clicked on it. It's called The I-Land. It starts out a lot like a crappier version of Lost. And I got through the first 2 episodes going, this is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. But then there's a twist in the 3rd episode that I'm like, okay, maybe I'll stick around for a couple more episodes because maybe it'll get better. I don't really know what to say about it other than it's got a lady that I know her by name, but I can't figure out why I know her name. It's Kate Bosworth. Kate Bosworth is in it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm like, I looked through IMDb, and basically everything she's in is not stuff that I watched or have watched. So I don't know why I know her. But yeah, it's the island. Oh, the thing that really bugged me was they all wake up. All these people wake up on an island, right? They all have amnesia, or at least to the point where they can't remember their names or who they are or how they got there. And like maybe 15 minutes into the first episode, they wake up on a beach. Sorry. One of them they said, hey, we're going to go swimming. And one of them goes, nope, I'm just going to sit here and enjoy my time on this island. And which then that just totally turned me off because at no point was it ever established that they're on an island. They woke up on a beach. They don't know. How the hell are they like? It was a huge plot issue for me because they could have just been on the southern coast of some continent,
Right.
Where does anything say that they're on an island? And but I don't know.
Almost sounds like the same plot as The Hangover.
Kind of. So if The Hangover And if The Hangover and Lost had a mentally challenged offspring,
Yeah.
not really like completely, but just
A little off.
just a little bit touched, to use an old term. I'm hoping it gets better because the show had potential, but there's just a couple of things in the first
So,
couple of
Kate,
Clyde-
Kate Bosworth, isn't she the actress that was in the Underworld?
Yeah,
movie?
never watched. No. That was Beckinsale.
Beckinsale. Oh, okay.
What?
Clyde, you can watch it as long as you can in order for you to tell us how bad it sucks.
Yes.
We would appreciate that if you would do that. For
I'm
us.
gonna watch,
but we're not
more.
requiring you to do that.
I'm in episode 3 right now, and there, like I said, there was a major twist that I'm gonna see how it pans out. I might just rage quit.
Yep, that's fine. Let us know when.
I'll let you know next week. Alrighty. Touched by a hangover, M Beam says. Alrighty, well, I think that would about wrap it up for this week. Thank you guys for joining me, and thanks everybody for hanging out through the trials and tribulations provided by my ISP. We'll see tomorrow. Maybe they won't be my ISP anymore. But yeah, we for those of you that don't know or aren't here normally, we do this live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central, here on Twitch. Come join us. That's where you get to be in the chat room. You get to provide witty commentary or correct us, like as Wabbit did tonight, to our faux pas or general misunderstanding of the things we're talking about.
Which happens.
So, it's a lot of fun. Also, you get to submit show titles, and we have show titles this week. So that head on over to tvs.showbot.tv. If someone would throw the remind into the chat, I would appreciate it. Stick around for the post show, and we will select a title. But until then, we'll see you guys next week.
Later.
See you later.
Bye.
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 Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.